Hello everyone out there. I am making this video because I fell for a scam and maybe this might help others who are in the same bind as I am. So in late July 2021, I saw an ad on Facebook of all places for these really awesome looking Halloween themed Bulbasaur figures. And while I usually know better than to buy the crap that's peddled on Facebook, I fell in love with this figurine, so I nearly instantly made the purchase. It cost around $30 or so shipped. And not until after I placed the order for this figure, though, did I really dig deeper into the Facebook comments on this post. And people began to mention that this listing was actually copy-pasted from an Etsy seller who the design of this toy seems to have originated with. Even the Etsy seller on their own page posted a message noting that other sellers were scammers, not to buy from them, so I felt totally bamboozled, flim-flammed. I just felt bad about the situation overall. So the Chinese knockoff seller that I bought the item from did eventually get me a tracking number for the order, though even to this day that tracking number shows absolutely nothing. But as you can tell, as because of this video, over a month later, something actually did arrive in the mail, and it is in a way a Halloween Bulbasaur, albeit a bit of a derpy knockoff of what I actually ordered. What amazes me is that the original item sold by the Etsy seller is a 3D printed item, probably made in low quantities, made by hand, so to speak, like a lot of items on Etsy are. But this knockoff seller, they went through the effort to have this item mass produced. And it clearly isn't 3D printed. It's made out of a cheap plastic. And the construction, the plastic construction, it smells like cancer right out of the box. Just that very chemically smell that you get used to when you buy a lot of items from China. You just can recognize it immediately. And so the smell did go away after a few days of leaving it out in the open. And it is painted also, albeit very poorly. So everything about this item is kind of cheap. The pumpkin on the top of the Bulbasaur does not really fit. Even though it should be matched up well, it just kind of wants to fall off the back with the slightest of movement. And even though they tried to knock off the original design, as you can see, the dimensions are still not right. As you can tell from the shape of the body and the head, they just kind of screwed it up. The face is smaller, it's shaped strangely, the body is wider and chunkier. And with the paint job that was included, it just doesn't look very good. The claws on the feet of this figure are just kind of poorly covered. They're kind of small. So I'm going to go over those with some more white paint to help fill them out a little bit more, make them a little more robust. Luckily, the light in the pumpkin does work. Although the plastic of the pumpkin itself is so thin, the light bleeds right through the plastic and lights up the whole pumpkin, kind of like a light bulb. And the face of the pumpkin looks like it has some battle damage on it, which actually, honestly, is kind of cool for a jack-o'-lantern, but I don't think it's supposed to be there, it's supposed to look like that. So what I'm going to try and do is salvage this figure by giving it a touch up on the paint and see if I can somehow affix the pumpkin more securely to the back. I think if I could just fix the eyes alone on this item, it's going to make the Bulbasaur look, 100% better. It looks so terrible out of the box. I'm just out of words to describe it. We can see the measurements of this figure. It's about 5 inches long, 4 inches in height. And you can see it in comparison to some common items to get an idea of how large it is in your hand. And now I'm no artist, so I'm not expecting much. But anything I can do to make this character look a little closer to the original idea, that's the goal here. So as we can see, the body spots are painted black, and I'm going to go over them with a dark blue paint to more closely match the original. Now the eyes. The eyes I am going to cover in a full, like a yellow-orange paint mix, and then I'll use some white and black paint to kind of approximate what the eyes on the original figure should look like. And as for the pumpkin, I did use some black paint on the interior to help with the light bleed from the tea light inside. I thought removing some of the hot glue from the bottom might help with the balance of the pumpkin, but it's just really does not fit well to the body of the Bulbasaur itself. So all in all, I am kind of satisfied with how it came out, and just like I thought, it really was all in the eyes. Like once you get the eyes right, it really brings it all together in the end. And to keep the pumpkin on a little bit better, I tried using some Velcro to hold the pumpkin on, but it just didn't stick very well and it kind of was still floppy. So what I did is I found some rare earth magnets. I glued one to the body of the Bulbasaur, and I glued one on the inside of the pumpkin, and now it does help the pumpkin stay in place and it doesn't wobble as much. So it isn't really perfect, but it's a lot more secure than before. So after going through the effort of painting this, I can certainly get why the painted version of the original Etsy version of this figure is completely sold out. I mean, it takes significant effort to really make it look right and to make it look good. Also, I'll leave a link in the description to where you can pick up the original version of this item on Etsy. And I'm thinking after the Halloween season is over and they become available again, I'm going to pick up a legitimate one that is pre-colored so that I can kind of retire my ungainly knockoff here. So I still love the idea of using a Bulbasaur as a jack-o'-lantern figure. I threw that term into Google Images and found all kinds of amazing artwork, so it's not surprising that we see these figures for sale like this. It's a great fit, it's a cool idea. I hope this video can help some other people out there who might have made a purchase from an unscrupulous internet seller. And so while I am impressed they actually delivered something, I thought I was 100% scammed. This definitely isn't what I wanted to purchase through the seller on Facebook. So buyer beware. When these small items are listed on Etsy, buy them through there whenever possible. Hopefully this video helped, but leave any comments below if you have any questions. But everyone have a great day out there and happy Halloween. Bye-bye.